If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Those famous words are mine. Like me or not, I, H.Truman, should be elected to the Missouri Hall of Fame because I'm brave, a leader, and a hard worker from the Show Me State of Missouri. I was born on May 8th, 1884 in Lamar, Missouri. In honor of my birth, my dad planted a pine tree in our front yard. We didn't get to see that tree grow because my family loved to move. By the time I was 1, my family moved to Harrisonville, Missouri, and then again when I was 3 to Grandview. This time we lived on our grandparents' farm with no running water or electricity. Finally, in 1890, we moved to Independence, Missouri, where I began school. At school, I would seize my glasses and me playing piano, which was considered a girl's activity. But I loved the piano so much that I awoke at 5 a.m. every day to practice before school. But that was not all the things that happened in my childhood. In fact, I had some great memories of spending time with my grandpa, a horse racing judge at fairs. And every day for a week, he took me to the fair in a horse-drawn wagon while we ate candy, played games, and watched the races. This was the highlight of me growing up in Missouri. But growing up, I also had some jobs, such as working at a drugstore, a newspaper at a bank, and managing my grandfather's farm before I was enlisted as National Guard. I had many times in my life where I needed to be brave. One of those times was during when I had to get my family out of debt. I only had to do this because when we were on a family outing, a robber robbed our home and took all our clothing and cash. Quickly after, I started a job at a bank to provide for my family. Another example of my bravery was during World War I, and I was an army man and I was promoted colonel before my return. After I returned to the U.S., I got involved into local politics and eventually would become vice president under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This job required long hours, quick decisions, and a knowledge of my world and my country. Finally, the third example of my bravery was during World War II, and I had to make the decision to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I did this during World War II, and people said it was the worst thing that could ever happen to a country. My defense was that it saved the lives of tens and of thousands of U.S. American soldiers. I was a good leader because I helped start the Truman. I made it through tough decisions. One of my most famous quotes was "The buck stops here." This meant I can make the decision whether it's hard or easy, and I don't blame other people for the decisions I make. I also started NATO. I also started the Truman's Committee that got into war fraud and corrupt politicians. This group was a success. As president, I ordered planes filled with food to Berlin, Germany. This was called the Berlin Airlift. I only did this to stop the Soviet Union, and this was after the war. I also started NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization that got into war fraud and that sent an alliance through Europe to North America. Hopefully you found that I'm a man of my word and a man that's not afraid to take action. I don't care whether people like me or my decisions. I do what's believed to be right, fair, and honest.